Hello guys, we got two carrier units. The said wasn't cooling. Doesn't feel like I got compressors there. This one's actually cool. Probably needs to be cleaned. I'm recirculating some air, but I can feel heat coming out of this one. They don't look too bad. These are old Weathermasters. So let's dig in. This one feels like it's cooling. I got no heat coming out of this one, so we're gonna start here. Tear this guy apart. We had some storms come through last night. And got a tripwire up here. Storms came through last night pretty bad, so we might have some electrical issues. These things are old. We probably got all kinds of issues, so let's tear this guy apart and see what's inside. So I can hear the squeal of the belt. It's slipping. But I got nothing running here. Nothing at all. Let's see what's going on up here. I got no contactors pulled in. Except my blower, of course. So we do have CLO boards. Like I said, electrical issues. We may have had something there. I see a little, it's like dried oil in that reversing valve. See the coil damage inside. So let's start with our CLO boards. That might be what our problem is. Make sure we do have a call. 22 volts. 22 volts. Let's say our transformer's tapped wrong. We got a call from Y1 and Y2. Check on the right side of it. Yeah, 210. You can see we're tapped for 230. We should be tapped over here. But I believe one's my common. So if I can get on it. I got 22 volts coming out of terminal 2. And well, I got no voltage out of terminal 3, and I bet X should be in the normally open contact, or my alarm contact, and there's my 22 volts. So my CLO's tripped here. Let's keep on going from there, make sure we got refrigerant. I don't see anything like major oil or anything. Like I said, we had electrical problems. So we're going to shut it down and get the belt looked at because it's loose. I can hear it. And then we'll check our compressor terminals. Maybe they didn't start for some reason. Maybe it's just a nuisance trip with all the lightning we had. Well, slipping might have been the understatement of the year. Look at that. That belt is worn down to nothing. That's what I kept hearing. Man, motor sounds all right. So everything else looks good in here. Looks like I got some spares, so we can at least get a spare on. They've seen better days, but I'm not worried about these electric heaters back there. I don't see anything burnt, so we'll let's get a belt on it, get that good and tight. We'll check our filters and then just make sure These things ought to start back up. For whatever reason, we tripped that CLO. I'm assuming both CLOs because neither contactor was pulled in. And then we'll work our way back over to that guy. We're probably gonna have to clean these two, and we'll get new belts. The spares, need new ones. So we got belt on. That ought to work for now. Filters are clean. That oh yeah. That drain pan's got all kinds of crap in it. Like I said, the coils don't look bad on the outside, but I can feel the air recirculating. It tells me there's gonna be crap built up on the inside. So let's get this panel back on. We'll kick the power on, see if these compressors are on. So compressor terminals look okay. These are good and tight. Somebody's put a terminal kit on this one. So I mean, we got pretty tight connections. Probably gonna crank down on those just to be safe. These feel better, so they ought to be all right. We'll see if they run. This thing's about of the age that they're gonna start having issues. If it had a heat exchanger, it'd be cracked, but they don't. Everything else looks all right. I got some lines rubbing back here. That liquid line's gonna rub, but surprised it didn't rub through. Looks like these are all original too. No dryers are original, so nothing's ever been done with these things, except for the terminal kit. It looks like may have not ever been cleaned either. Contactors need to go too. They're not so bad that they're gonna cause problems just yet, but they are burnt up pretty good. This one's actually better. Looks like somebody changed that one. Kick it on and see what happens. Gonna have a time delay in the thermostat. Belt sounds better already. That's the heat relay there. So, trying to see. I have to clean up some of these wires. They are using the reversing valves. It's not reheat. So they're just straight up heat pump. A lot of these stores had reheat put in. Actually, I thought all of them did, but apparently not. It's just still R22. Looks like maybe an 02 or an 08 serial number. But we'll give it a few minutes to make sure these guys kick in. So I did correct my transformer. Stage 1 tried to kick on. See, I've got 25 volts now. Still don't have a Y2 call. Compressor sounded okay. I guess I should have took an amp draw. So I'm assuming the CLO locked it out again. Easy now. Yeah, there's my 25 volts on X. Stage 2 active, right? Just to make sure. Yep, hot gas going through my condenser. And cold coming back on my suction line, so that one's gonna be alright. Try to reset this one and see why it didn't kick in. Could be a problem with the CLO. I'm just gonna pull the 24 volts and put it back on, see if I can't get it to cycle and stay on. We'll get an amp draw this time. Actually, I was wrong. It pulled in and stayed in. I don't know if I'm not sure what the hell happened there. When stage 2 kicked on, stage 1 came on too. And I got the same deal. Hot gas going through my condenser, and I got cold suction coming back. So I'm gonna assume it was something with, I think there's accumulators hiding back there too. I'm gonna assume it was something with the storms that we had, because everything else looks like it should have ran. Besides the belt, I don't know if, I don't think that would have caused my CLOs to trip. Maybe tripped a freeze stat. That's very possible too. So nonetheless, we got a new belt on it. We're gonna go get new belts. Yeah, these things are gonna have to be cleaned. This one doesn't feel as bad. Look, somebody left me a little hole. They were a little nicer with the coil at least. Oh yeah. Yeah, it won't focus, but it's dirty. You can tell a lot by the airflow. Pushing air out to the side here. Something's in that coil. So, let them run for a little while because it ought to drop the store temp. It's still early and it's not too hot yet. And then we'll turn them off one by one. I'm gonna get a belt size on that one and give these guys a good cleaning. And they ought to be all right until everything dies all together. These things are old. I wanted to verify the age on them and just write them up as such. See where we go from there, but they're gonna be all right for now, it looks like. So my run load is 12 amps. That's at stage 1. We're sitting at 9. If I can get in here on this guy. 9 amps. We look good there. Blower 6.5. I didn't look at the blower. Fan motor. That's the outdoor, indoor 7.5. So we're good there too. Let's go get some belts and string some hose out. That's what we're gonna have to do. So my thermostats were showing 80 in the space, and I got 60. Yeah, so we got about 20 degrees. I'm not even gonna bother to take the return air right now. These things are gonna be doing all they can. See, we're condensating here. This one's not doing nearly as well. 68. We might have one compressor off on this one. Let that trap prime. But yeah, that's not doing too well. But I still got to get the belt size, so we'll shut this guy off and verify both my compressors are running, because I'll bet they're not. So we actually are both running here. See, this one's normal. Got cold suction, hot gas going the right way. This one I got hot gas going the right way, but my suction is hot too. So we got a refrigerant problem here. But you want to bet that core max is leaking. There's oil everywhere. Yeah, I heard it hiss. Oh, shit. I wonder if that thing's running at all. No seal in the cap. That core max is pushing out of there. I've never seen that before. That guy's gonna have need some work. Wow. Alright, let's disable this one so it don't tear up the compressor. And then we'll run and grab our stuff. We'll have to put some pressure and change that core max. Look at that core max. You guys ever seen one do that? I'm afraid to touch the thing because It's got decent pressure on it. There is an APR valve hiding back here that I didn't see. That's probably, they probably had humidity issues and that's when they put that in. How about that? A little spring on there. Well, I guess we'll recover from one side. Got another valve from the APR up there. So we'll worry about that when the time comes. I got the voltage pulled from my coil, the contactor, and this one is tapped correctly. So somebody's had their hands on this one. Belt probably broke. Their maintenance probably came up here and put a belt on. So that's all right. We got it disabled. We're gonna run and grab what we need for the other one. Gonna have to clean the coils, and we'll see what we want to do with the age of these things. I hate dumping 22, but technically I could get just put a swivel tee or something on that core max to get it to stop leaking. And I can charge through my APR valve because that's my suction line here. So I could get some charge in it that way. Just verify that the compressor's pumping. But I mean, the age of it, I hate to spend the time on it, to take time to clean all these things anyways. And these things, especially this one being R22, this one needs to go. They're usually pretty proactive when things get this old, but the way the equipment is nowadays, you can't get it half the time, so we're gonna have to make it work one way or another while we're working on getting the equipment. So we'll see where we go from there. So before I tear this apart and clean it, I'm gonna verify carefully. I'm gonna put this back on that contactor. We're gonna verify the compressor pumps. I had a hot discharge, but that's not really a good indication. My CLO's probably locked out. Alright, we're gonna, here, let's just bump it. Yeah, she's gonna pump. So I'll get my high side hooked up. I'm gonna clean it first and get the high side hooked up, and then we're gonna have to add some charge to this guy temporarily until they can figure out what they want to do with it. But it seems like the compressor's all right. So we got the hose strung out. Kick it off. Get the coil cleaned. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. There is a lot of buildup inside here. There's going to be a lot of buildup on that outside coil too. It just hasn't got completely plugged, but cottonwood's been bad this year. So I'd say we got a little bit of crap out of that coil. We're going to rinse all this down. Coil's clean enough, it's going to run now. I know it was going to run before, but clean the drain trap. Front of this coil doesn't look too bad. So we're going to rinse it out real well. Keep in mind, there's a backside to this coil behind the blower right here. We'll make sure you rinse that out too. You will have problems, so we'll have to get in there too. Last thing before I button this thing up, make sure you wire tie your coils. I have seen the inside coil get in here and rub on this plate and cause leaks. So you always want to make sure you wire tie them back. So I'm set up to dump some charge slowly. I got that leak fixed there with the swivel tee. And we're going to just add a little bit. It holds 9 pounds. So we'll add 3 pounds or so and then see where we're at. I'm not even going to attempt to superheat and subcool this thing. I might check my suction line temp, but we're still about 81 degrees in the store, so this thing's got to run. So we're going to dump a little charge and see where we're at. So, close my HVACR ball valve. We'll open it up, back up before we go. Just trying to get a more accurate reading. I'm running kind of high on my superheat. I'm about 110 degrees, so that's about 30 degrees over ambient. It's about 80, probably 85 out here right now. 74 degree suction line, 35 saturation, so I'm almost 30 degrees superheat. Put about 4 pounds in it, so we're just gonna keep adding and watch it for a little bit. This ain't gonna be perfect. I'm not trying to make it perfect, but I got a good temp drop now, 57 degrees. So we're gonna keep adding and get it to where I'm happy with this one, and we'll move on over to that guy. We're gonna have to clean the coil on it. It ought to be all right because everything else is running, but these things are aging gracefully. Like I said, they're usually proactive on this stuff. When we find stuff like this, they've already had an APR installed because of humidity problems. Every other one of these locations around town have the humidizer units to help with the humidity. So we're gonna keep adding, just make sure my superheat's all right, and I got a good cold suction line. Not condensating as of yet. Well, we got coil damage all on the inside. Some coil damage on the outside too. Release is clean. I got good airflow coming up and not out now, so that's a plus. So I'm right in the ballpark on everything. I got a 77 degree return. I had a 55 degree supply, so I'm running a little high on my temp drop, which is to be expected. The evaporator was a little dirty. We weren't going to go as far as cleaning it. Got about a 50 degree, 48, 50 degree suction line. I'm about 40 on my saturation, so it's about normal. These things like to flood for some reason, but it's not, I wouldn't call it flooding yet. 115 saturation, I'm probably 85 outside, so that puts me at 30 degrees over ambient. That's really what I'm shooting for. You can see my charging chart is gone, so I'm just going off what I know here. I got a good cold suction line for condensate now. Got a good temp drop. I'm happy with it. I am bypassing some of my coil right here now, but it's about as good as it's going to get. We put about 6 pounds into it, so we're going to call this one good. We'll watch it for a few more minutes. Just make sure everything stays within range, and then we'll move over to the other guy. Yeah, we're at 55, so it's not to get them through a little bit longer until we can figure out what we want to do. Alright, so this guy stayed about the same. We got new caps on everywhere else. Nothing had a gasket seal in it. We haven't touched any of this, so we're not going to. We got our gauges off. We'll button it up. We'll make sure we get new screws and everything. Make sure everything's secured good. The way the wind's kind of crazy today, we don't blow any panels off. We're gonna go clean that guy. So this one's about the same. It's got some crap in it, but not too terribly bad inside. I think we're gonna hit 95 today, so this ought to help them out a lot, especially with all the coil damage they got. Alright guys, so we got this guy cleaned. I got a whole lot better airflow. We're not recirculating, so I'm gonna be happy with it. That's about it. Both compressors are running. We got about the same crap out of that one. We're running 56 degrees, so I'm happy with that. I got trolled last time because I stared at my screen too long, so we didn't stare at my screen at all this time, and I only put gauges on one compressor because I only felt like I needed to. So I appreciate all of you, even the trolls. So keep on trolling, hit the thumb, whichever way you like it. Leave the trade better than you found it, and we'll see you guys next time.